You alright, mate?
Morning. Right.
How are you?
Hello. How are you guys?
Cheers. Yeah, sorry we're a bit late.
That's all right.
Yeah. Are these the cups, Steve? I don't know. We've got all different glasses. There's enough Coke to go around. I drink gallons of it.
How long have you been living with each other for?
Oh, well, we've been
Just
together.
over what you get if you killed someone.
Yeah.
That's
About 20 years, yeah. Stuff in the faces, yeah.
Yeah, so we can get one without food or wine in front of you. It took me mum and George quite a while to like each other, I think, because they perhaps were both quite a similar personality.
And there's also
Hard to believe, I know, but there you go.
Because no one's ever good enough for the son, are they? She was a very strong, opinionated lady, and so am I. So I think it clashed. You know, I cared for him when he was ill and all this. And then from there, I think she just saw how happy I made him, and we developed a really, really, really good friendship.
She was born in 1934, so she must have been sort of 2-3 years old. That's the earliest one I've got of her, with her expression of sort of butter wouldn't melt, which gave no indication at all as to how strongly opinionated she was going to grow up. For the first sort of 45, 50 years of her life was very much devoted just to being a mum to me and my twin brother. She did do some homework, but generally her duties, if you like, as a mum came first. She was always there for us, always supportive, very loving, but that was very much her life. There's a picture of here when she was with my dad. She used to have her own bike. But probably unbeknownst to me and my brother, her relationship with my dad gradually sort of deteriorated. My mum decided to divorce my dad, and then she moved up to Chesterfield and had at least 20, 22, 23 years up there where her main interest was minerals.
Complaining as well.
And complaining. I've lost count of the amount of £5 vouchers she got from Sainsbury's because something may have delivered with a top that was slightly wobbly or something similar. And really minerals was a big part of their life, while still being a really good grandmother to my kids.
Yeah, and I do still miss her. We used to phone her, what do you think of the X Factor tonight?
Yeah, we miss her.
Yeah,
She was nearly 80, and we were just saying before you came round, she had a great life, and she knew that. You know, she'd always sort of done something. She travelled, she'd met new people,
Yeah.
but it's still a bitter taste in my mouth that those last 22 days of her 80-odd years needn't have been like they were.
Your mum was diagnosed with cancer, wasn't she?
Yeah, it was bowel cancer. She accepted the diagnosis of bowel cancer because hopefully the disease will take me sort of sooner rather than later. It just seems wrong that she was forced to die, if you like, in a manner dictated by other people. She was a strong advocate of assisted dying. That opened my eyes to the reality of the situation as it is and how bad it is, and the hypocrisy that politicians tend to dismiss it. And I thought, this can't be right. So I wrote to the Eastbourne Herald, the local paper, and just put that I was thinking of starting a support group. We didn't quite know what form it would take or where it would go. Thanks ever so much for coming, everybody. I appreciate it. I'll apologise again for forgetting some people's name. Dignity in Dying campaign for a change in the law. We feel that any mentally competent, terminally ill adult who's been diagnosed as having 6 months or less to live should have the choice, purely the choice, of whether they want a doctor assisted help in dying. This would involve the doctor writing a prescription, but the patient themselves still taking the medication.
My name's Helen.
Helen.
Dorothy.
Dorothy.
I've met lots of different kinds of people. I've just known some people who have had problems with dying.
One of my friends died last year of brain cancer. She'd signed a petition for assisted dying. And I just think it's cruel. It's just so cruel.
My mother, who only made it to 104, she had signed what was then called a living will, is now called an expression of wish. The hospital ignored it twice and resuscitated her, and she was very, very angry.
Now, my sister was diagnosed with cancer at 47. Now, it took her 7 years to die. She died a horrific death. My philosophy is, I'm not afraid of death, none of my family are. And if that was an animal, you would consider the pain and suffering of that animal.
What we don't believe in is euthanasia. What we don't believe in is assisted suicide, which is a totally different thing. We certainly don't agree that, or campaign for the fact that anyone who happens to be disabled or in a wheelchair should be euthanised. This is scaremongering put out by other people.
Well, my name's Ray. I'm a retired university lecturer and I have terminal cancer. But my views have not come about just because of that. It's because of what I saw happen to both my parents as well as what is now happening to me. My mother was not able to tolerate any of the pain medication that she was given, so she suffered extreme pain from bowel and liver cancer towards the end.
83% of the country who were asked wanted it, and yet Parliament can totally ignore that. And I don't think that's not democracy.
It's supposed to be a democracy. But I think, if we're going to call ourselves a civilised society, we really need to legislate for this.
And as regards going to Switzerland, only the wealthy can afford to do that. And you've got to be fit enough to go, which means that you really need to go before you're at the point where you would really want to do it.
Exactly.
I only have a few months left to live due to liver cancer. I would rather have some quality of life and then a pain-free death, rather than say have that end of life tripled, just full of misery.
May come in for the wrong reasons, that the government may look at it financially and bring it in for that, and then vulnerable people will be more susceptible, I think. So I hope it comes in, but for the right reasons. I've heard people say what a lovely, serene, beautiful experience it is, and my experience, having seen my mum pass away, is it's not like that. The body and the spirit are very, very strong, and they will fight to the end. So dying actually isn't an easy thing to do, and you really just see the body gradually shut down. The breathing gets shallower, and I hadn't quite noticed, but according to the hospice staff, the skin the day or so before gets like a sort of a glow to it. We found ourselves in a situation where if we hadn't stayed the night, we were going in each day thinking, please let this be the day, which sounds a horrific thing to say, but it was more for what she wanted. Invariably the hospice staff would say, oh no, I don't think it's not going to be today, which was the worst thing we wanted to hear. You'd think it would be the opposite. We'd be upset by hearing that today would be the day, but when we got that opinion on the Saturday morning, we were so pleased, because we thought eventually this is an end to her suffering. And the law will change, and we'll look back in years to come with disbelief that we used to let people die in pain against their wishes, but at the moment it's we've still got quite a few hurdles to climb before we get there.
What would she say if she knew you were doing it?
Oh, she would say good luck to you. She'd say thanks for doing it, because other people shouldn't have to go through what I went through. And she was very, very principled, and she was someone who, if she felt a battle was worth fighting, she would get involved and express an opinion and drum up support. I dealt with the loss of my dad through doing my family history, and I think that helped sort of heal a wound. And I don't know, but it could be a valid argument, as well as campaigning for what will be a change in the law, albeit whenever it comes. It is a way of, I suppose, of partly of helping dealing with the loss of her.